And finally, I want to introduce our honoree, our real honoree. And first of all, he's an unbelievable person. He's got to fly all night after this back to Phoenix to, he's got his first practice tomorrow. So, I mean, I asked him, are you going to be all right tomorrow catching, Rosen's going to fire these balls at you tomorrow. You're going to fly all night? He said, Mr. Dunn, I've done this before. But we still appreciate, Larry, you making the effort to be here. It's awesome. Larry Fitzgerald everybody knows Larry Fitzgerald. He's obviously one of the greatest athletes. I think he was the third best athlete ever in Pittsburgh, right? Tony Dorsett was better than you. And that hurdler was definitely better than you. So he was probably the third best athlete ever at Pittsburgh. And his record was 0-1 when he came to South Bend, Indiana. We called Jason Tuck to just review what happened in that game earlier today, which was kind of fun. But, Larry's obviously a great athlete. That everybody knows that. And he was NFL Man of the Year, which he totally deserved. But, how I first met Larry, he came up and we were at a golf thing, which Larry plays more golf than I do, which is hard to do. But, and he came up and he said, hey, Mr. Dunn, I really want to meet you. I wanted to ask you something. So usually when people want to ask me for something, it's for a job, which he's got. It's to get his kid into Notre Dame, which, he's too young, or it's something relating to golf. And Larry said, he said, look, I got a friend that you could really help. And he went to Notre Dame, and I'd like to introduce you to him. And if you could help him, we got to get together on this because he needs you. So that was Larry. Day one, first conversation, a lot of what SSP is all about, reaching out to try to do something for somebody else. And that's what this guy does every day. And nobody sees a lot of it, but it is impressive to watch, and we're all just in the Larry whirlwind, which is fantastic. But, when I think it's Joseph's mother, and I think, one of the most valuable things when you're interviewing somebody is I always look, where did they finish in their class? That's an interesting, wherever they went to school. Helpful if they went to Notre Dame rather than Fairfield, but some people don't, some people don't understand that, okay? He had a full ride to Notre Dame, a partial scholarship to Fairfield. He tells me I'm going to Fairfield. I told him, I'm not raising the rest of the money for you. And he went out and raised the money himself. He went to Fairfield and had a great experience, so we're happy for Fairfield. But anyway, which is a whole nother thing. And this guy never liked Notre Dame either. He wanted to go to Syracuse 4 years ago, so we got that done. But I mean, Jesus. I will get somebody into Notre Dame at some point. It may be at the 40-year anniversary, but it will, anyway. But I digress. But I always look at where did they finish in their class. If they were top 10, that's a good sign. The other thing is I try to find out in the interview something about their mother, okay, believe it or not. And I found if you had a loving but tough mother, you're almost a guaranteed to be successful. I mean, there's nothing more important than that. I see a few smiling faces. They did okay, all because of you ladies. On their own, they'd be on the streets, okay? And my mother, who is a tough Irish Catholic, no nonsense, Roman Catholic, she was tough, there's no doubt about that. She was not perfect, but she had a way of describing somebody when it was the highest compliment she could give. And she would say, he's all man. And, she died when I was real young, but when she referred to somebody as all man, that was the highest possible compliment. Larry Fitzgerald is all man. Thank you for being here, Larry.
It's such an honor to be here with you all tonight. I want to especially thank Jimmy Dunn for his kind introduction, and I would also like to thank his beautiful wife, Susan, for this invitation to be here for this special evening. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you, Susan. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you. To see so many incredible people investing their lives in the lives of youth is truly inspiring. It's so critical in the age we live in today that young people see the care and wisdom that mentors have to offer. This night and all it represents is a perfect example of bringing out the very best in all of us and building a bright future for those who deserve it most. I've been very curious about what's been so inspiring to my good friends, the Dunns. I know that they can't stop talking about the powerful impact that student-sponsored partners is making, but I felt like I needed to see it for myself. Deborah Veazey was very kind to give me the opportunity to actually get up close and personal with the program. It was also great to hear that her son and I share something in common. We're both graduates of Valley Forge Military Academy in Pennsylvania, so I knew she was smart as soon as I met her. Yesterday, she allowed me to meet with several students and alumni from SSP, and I saw firsthand the impact this program is making on lives every single day. I was also deeply impressed with that not only did Deborah lead SSP today, but it wasn't too long ago that she was a student. But she wasn't only a student, she was the first student who benefited from the power of mentorship through student-sponsored partners. What an incredible example of an investment in this program coming full circle. During my visit yesterday, I was deeply impacted by the young men and women I met who are building better lives and a better future for themselves through SSP. I got a chance to meet Dennis, my man Dennis. He's top 5 in his class. He's a captain of the golf team. He ran for student body president. He may be the next Tiger Woods, you never know. I got a chance to meet Robert, who's an alumni of SSP, former recipient of the Peter Flanagan Scholarship Award. He came back to mentor and reinvest in the lives of the others that come behind him. I got to meet Delphina. She's the director of enrollment, who meets with all of the applicants at SSP, another alumni of the program, giving back for the last 7 years. I got a chance to meet Dominic. Dominic tragically lost his brother to gang violence, but he didn't allow that tragedy to stop him. Now he's the captain of his football team. He's on the wrestling team, and he's the pride of his neighborhood, and he'll be attending college this fall. I got a chance to meet Serena, who's here tonight, another Peter Flanagan Award winner, one of only 3 awarded each year. Serena someday will be taking care of my kids most likely as athletic trainer and physical therapist. Serena, thank you. I got a chance to meet Edward. He was thrilled with the values and the family atmosphere at SSP. He has found a place in the brotherhood at Hayes High School. Edward also was fortunate enough to meet his current girlfriend while volunteering at SSP. So obviously the program has enriched his life in many ways. I got a chance to meet Lasha, who gives back to her community, but not only her community locally, but also internationally. She's traveled across the border to communities around the world in service. She loves to dance and has aspirations to attend college. And finally, I got a chance to meet Donovan. Donovan is one of 7 siblings. Donovan has an unbelievable mentor who's a federal officer. He's worked through some anger issues, and seeing him today, the kid is delightful. His grades are up. He wants to show his grandma what he's made of. She adopted him, and now he's gonna reach his goals. And Donovan, man, it's good to meet you, man, and I'm happy for you, bro. These challenges in life proves that we all know in our hearts that education and mentorship are powerful tools that can impact young people for a better life. To see it in action yesterday, to see young men and women receiving the love, wisdom, guidance that they need to rise above their circumstances, achieve great things, was a remarkable tribute to the work you all are doing in here tonight. I remember my time yesterday and the amazing people I met for years to come. I want to encourage you that you're never too old to benefit from mentoring. You're also never too old to be a mentor and to invest in the lives of others. You may think of professional athletes as larger than life. I mean, you look at Harris Barton, look how big he is. You see all the fame and the fortune and the success, but the reality is that most professional athletes have some of the same challenges and life obstacles that every single student, every person in this room faces. And they also share the same need, the need for someone to invest in their lives, someone to believe in them, and to give them the tools they need to meet those life challenges head on. As a young man, I made my fair share of mistakes. I was entitled. At times, I was full of myself, arrogant and unkind. And I was definitely not level-headed. You couldn't tell me anything at 20 years old. If it were not for so many of my mentors who crossed my path in my life, and shared their lives and wisdom with me, there is no way I would be living my dream today. And I can assure you, if it were not for those young men and women who poured into my life, I would definitely not be here and I wouldn't be living my dreams. So if you are a sponsor here tonight, I want to thank you. I want to commend you, and I also want to challenge you. Thank you for your investment you've made in these lives. Without you, none of this would be happening. You are a power behind this program, the energy, the drive. This is amazing work you're doing day in and day out. And I challenge you to not only continue what you've done, but to do even more until every child in New York City has the same opportunity as the lives that you are representing here tonight have had. Your work is not finished. To the mentors, you are the angels in this room. You are the life changers. You take the energy and the resources that sponsors provide and you turn them into a lifetime of opportunity. And while there will be times that you wonder if your work has been done in vain, never doubt that every moment, every prayer, every pathway will never be gone in vain. Never doubt every moment. Lives have gone from darkness to light because of you. Don't ever forget it. The work, the sponsors, the mentors, the teachers, the coaches, and the families, the times that they invested in these young lives, create pathways for success that would not have been there otherwise. This is a beautiful picture of teamwork. People who care, joining together with a singular vision, a vision to see young people, young men, young women succeed throughout their lives. I know a little bit about teamwork. I've been around some of the greatest leaders and mentors in the world, but none of them has accomplished anything greater than what's being accomplished here every single day. Continue to fight the good fight, and thank you for allowing me the privilege to share this evening with all of you. And I'd also like to say thank you to all the men and women who are in blue today. It's a great honor to be around you and get a chance to meet all of you all today. I can be honest with you and tell you this is the safest room in New York City tonight. Thank you.